It's time for communicating with Jackson 360. We're going to talk about how to read people. This is one of the most valuable skills you can have, is reading people. My definition for reading people is basically being able to observe them from a distance and learn something about them just by observing and not necessarily listening to their words. Keep in mind with communication, about only 7% of communication is usually the words that people say. About 38% is the tone, what they're using. If they're excited, if they're saying it, in fast or slow to pace. And then the other, like 55% is body language. So it's very important that you know how to read people's body language. So let's get it going. So first of all is feet and legs. If a person's knees are facing you and their legs are open towards you when you're speaking with them, usually they're open and they're listening to you. They're kind of comfortable with staying there. If their feet are faced away from you or face the exit, of course, that means they're ready to run away. So keep that in mind, not only as you observe other people, but also for yourself. If you're trying to give someone else your undivided attention, face them with your knees and your legs, okay? Next is your arms. If arms are crossed, that means the person wants to feel shielded. They want to be protected. So they're trying to protect themselves, their idea, and their energy. If they open their arms, that means usually they're more open. And the same thing works. This is an emotional thing. The body doesn't lie. When people are leaning in, usually they're excited, they're emotional, they're kind of into you. If the person is leaning back, guess what? Most likely they're not into you. Well, no, they're thinking. They're probably thinking in that case. Now, if you notice with these things, these are good for business as well as just in life in general. If you're building relationships with people, or if you're just trying to sell to someone, or you're trying to just read somebody, a customer, and you're dealing with hundreds and thousands of people, all right, this is going to be very important as you practice these things. All right, the next thing is understanding the mirror effect. Okay, now with mirroring people, this is when person mirrors you, that means you sit a certain way and they're in the same exact position. You stand a certain way, they're in the same position. This means this person is trying to build rapport with you unconsciously. Okay, that means they're trying to bond with you, and you can use the same trick on them as well. Just don't overdo it. Don't make it too obvious, but that's a bonding thing that can help you sell a person. Okay, now one of the number one things that you can do is touch. If you can touch someone, this is going to help you build rapport fast. Now, you have to do this in a sneaky way, though. You can't make it really weird. You got to know how to see somebody and be like, hey, man, it's really good to see you. I'm excited. And kind of, you pat their shoulder. Or if you're trying to build a relationship with a woman, you may try to reach out to, grab her hand. Because the more you touch a person, if they pull away, obviously they're not feeling you. But the more you can touch them, the more you're increasing that bond and that connection. So you got to be very, very careful with this one. But this could be a great rapport builder if you do it right. If you do it wrong, it can be a disaster. But knowing how to touch the other person at the appropriate times and make it fun, make it light, not in a weird way, okay? So also eye movement is also important. Eyes, you got to watch where their eyes go, because if a person doesn't want to look at you in their eyes, they're probably hiding something. They're not confident, so you got to keep all of this stuff in mind. Okay. So eye movement is very, 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 very important. All right. Now, if they're not looking at you, if they're looking, people that they got all these researches where they talk about if a person is looking to the top right, then they're probably visualizing something. If they're looking to the bottom left, they're probably having some type of dialogue with themselves. If they're looking to the bottom right, it's an emotional thing. So, you just want to keep this in mind. Usually the right side, whenever somebody looks to the right, period, it's a visual, artistic, creative thing, typically, and it doesn't mean they're lying. It just means they're probably visualizing, or they're just at a point right now where they're in their feelings. Usually the left is more logical. That's the logical side of your brain. When you look to the left, you're either trying to remember something or you're contemplating and thinking something. So remember, the left side is logical. The right side is creative. The right brain is more creative. So keep that in mind as you move forward, and I hope this helps in many different ways. So like I said, I'm going to end this video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. And make sure that you read people the right way and not the wrong way. If you agree with any of these things, or you got some situations where you've been in like this, leave it in the description.